If you've ever received a negative review or feedback from a client online, you know how this can impact your business. Well, today I want to share 3 tips for how to handle this that in a way that will actually help your business, make you look more professional, and increase the amount of clients coming in. Hi, I'm Jody-Ann, founder of the Event Certificate, and I work with event planners and wedding planners to help them turn clicks into clients. I started my business from the couch in my condo, and I was able to move from making nothing to working on 5- and 6-figure events, and I want to help you do the same. Been the victim of a negative review or feedback online, I just want to start by saying that it's okay. It actually gets better from here. But I also want to provide you with some practical, actionable steps that you can implement to counteract the effects of these reviews. So here's what I want to share. First, tip number 1. Don't get defensive. And I know this is so much easier said than done, but chances are that client left that review because of how they were feeling at that time. Whether that's valid or not, I want you to try to not take it personal, right? Because a lot of times when we take those situations too personal, then we become reactionary and we might go online and post a feedback, or we might just start doing things that are a little unprofessional, and you don't want to do that. The other thing you don't want to do is that you also don't want to ignore it. So the first thing I want you to do, tip number 1, is I don't want you to get defensive, but I also don't want you to ignore it. So if you're going to get defensive, do not post anything negatively on social media about the client. Do not just ignore them either. Now, tip number 2 is that I actually want you to reach out to that client personally, offline. I don't want you to respond immediately to the review online. I want you to reach out to the client, whether that's through a phone call, email. Just reach out to them to get a better understanding of what the problem was. Maybe it's that the customer was just disgruntled at that moment, and it's something that you're able to fix offline and get them to remove the review online. So that's the second thing I want you to do. I actually want you to reach out to them, not through the review. Now, of course, sometimes you reach out and the client will agree and you have a discussion and you're able to fix the situation and they remove the review. But that is also not always possible. So sometimes that review might not have been removed, or maybe they can no longer remove it. In that case, I also want you to reply to that review publicly. But I don't want your response to be defensive. I want you to just respond to the client, right? Because they had a concern, there was an issue, there was something that prompted them to go on Google, on Yelp, on whatever it is, to leave this review. So I want you to respond to the review. So maybe they didn't like the way that you worked with them, and you can just say, I'm really sorry about your experience. I've sent you a follow-up email. I look forward to speaking with you to address this because, you know, my company really works on client satisfaction. That's what helps us to stay in business. So anything that I can do to change your experience or just to help fix the situation, please let us know, right? Respond publicly and professionally. And those are my 3 tips for handling any negative online reviews. Now, as a bonus, I'm going to throw a bonus in there. So of course, if you have clients that you've worked with after this, what I want you to do is I want to actually encourage you to get them to write a review. So you know that they've had a good experience working with you, encourage them to leave a review on those platforms as well. Because I don't know, depending on the platform, it's a little different, but there are some platforms, for example, Google and others, where a positive review will change your overall rating, right? So it will also help you to lower the impact of that negative review. Now, those are all my tips for today. If you have any questions, drop them below, and of course, I'll answer them. And if you haven't already subscribed, hit that button. Bye for now.